It's on now?
Yeah.
You're tuning in to the Pink Report. No, I'm just like, okay, let's do this. It's your girl, Ashli Henderson. Tune in right now. We on the Pink Report. We live, baby. Tune in. You might as well tune in. Tune in. I'm Ashli Henderson. I'm a comedian. I'm a mom. I run a nonprofit organization, well, grassroots. I am full of I'm an onion, man. I got a lot of layers. I'm a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, why comedy?
You know what? At first, well, personality-wise, I've always been funny. But at first, it was just a thing that people told me I should do. And then when I did it, I just loved it. Like, I fell in love with it, and I couldn't stop. I love it, you know?
So I think,
It's my therapy.
I think, it's one thing to be like, to be laughed at, right? Or to be laughed with. When did you realize, like, okay, this is it, I need to pursue this? Like, what was it?
The first time I did an open mic, I went to Acme Comedy Club downtown Minneapolis, and I went down there with the intention of, all right, if everybody that says they're gonna comes, I'll perform. If nobody comes, I'm gonna say I performed, but not performed. You know what I'm saying? But everybody showed up, so I signed up. I was the first person that they called. I killed my first 3 minutes, and then I was like, I know I'm made for this. This is it, and that's it, that's all. And it just felt good. Like, you ever do something that just feels good? Like, ooh, this feels good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you eat ice cream, you be like, ooh, I like that.
Right.
That feels good.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like.
Love it. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, like, the life of a comedian. We know you're from Atlanta, right?
No, I'm from here.
You're from here.
Moved to Atlanta.
Moved to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You come here from time to time.
Yeah.
So what is that like for you in the life of a comedian?
Well, I can't speak for the life of every comedian, but my life is different. I'm a single mom, so it's busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come here often because I make, I have a huge fan base here, a lot of support here. And so it's just me running around and having to really keep a schedule, really having to stay focused, a lot of lack of sleep, and a lot of patience. I have to be patient, very, very patient because of my lack of sleep. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's like, though. It's fun. I love it, though. It's like with COVID, I hated COVID because I had to sit down. Like, I got so used to being able to run back and forth, going to Atlanta, coming to Minnesota, and then going back to Atlanta, be a mom, all that stuff like that becomes life for me, And then with COVID, I had to get used to being in the house again.
Right.
That was boring. You know what I'm saying? That was very, very boring.
But you got into your skits and things like that, too.
I did get into my skits. That's what happens when I get bored. I become random. Like, you get random me,
Yeah.
No,
that's lovely, too. So why don't we discuss what it's like in terms of being in this comedic industry amongst a lot of men. However, a lot of men even make women the brunt of the joke. Like, what do you think of that even?
You know what? I think it's common. I think that you will find a lot of shows where men will objectify women. They'll make women the butt of the joke and different things like that. But me as a comedian, if you've ever seen me perform, if you know who I am as a person, I run with the men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm running with the men. So whatever the men say, I got just as much heat to back that up on a woman's perspective. And in my perspective, is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Because of just who I am and my personality. And so I feel like, although that is something that happens where men don't really hold us down sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where I come in. That's where I play a part in this comedy scene and you know, and just being a comedian. And not just myself, there's a lot of female comedians that I know that can hang with the best of men. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's our job as female comedians, to show that side and to hold our own. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of men become intimidated at that point, and they get to, you know what I'm saying, you know, doing what women do. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that at another time. You know?
It's so funny. So, you know, some of the best comedians even are, you know, when they're on stage, a lot of their personal experiences comes out in their comedy. How much of your personal lives comes out into your comedic jokes on stage?
All of mine. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my sets are, you know, improv, straight off the top, right from my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling the truth, you know? Some stuff is my creative mind, you know, exaggerating certain stories and what have you, or you know, or what have you, I should say. But overall, 97% of what I talk about is from personal experience, and I have to, because, like I said, comedy is my therapy. And so I got to talk about the stuff that I'm going through. I got to talk about the stuff I've experienced in order to just make it. You know what I'm saying? To make through it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I live a busy life, you know, so when I'm on stage, that's when I got time to process, you know, and I'm processing out loud, and people are just finding it funny, you know. So that's kind of my perspective on that.
So then, like, even growing up, though, too, what can you recall growing up that made you, even something that you can kind of pull from now? What is something that you pull from your childhood that you can easily make fun of, but it may have hurt you at that time?
Man, my mom dying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my mom died when I was 7, you know, and my grandma raised me, but, you know, thank God, you know, I could just take her obituary and change the date on it and, you know, get some time off work when I need to. And so something, you know, there's things like that allow me to, you know, get through, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's little stuff. I find laughter in everything. I was raised with my cousins, right? Like, all my cousins, literally all my cousins are like my siblings. And they'll all tell you, like, there's nothing I take serious, because that's how I deal with it. Like, funerals, if you go to a funeral to cry and be sad and mourn, do not sit next to me, because that's not what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I am here to get through it.
Yeah.
I'm here to get through it. I'm here to cry, laugh, and really just be around my family. I'm not here to dwell on what's hurting me. You know what I'm saying? And that's really, so I just laughed through my pain for real. Like, when Kevin Hart put that out there, I felt that, you know? So, yeah.
I love it. I think when you talk about pain, and even, you know, being able to resonate even with Kevin Hart and how he kind of pulled all his personal experiences out onto the stage too. What happened here in Minnesota, you know, with George Floyd even, you know, like I saw you kind of become this comedy to community developer, right? And nearly philanthropist kind of overnight. And when I saw you kind of pushing that out there, like, I thought it was so amazing. So I want to know, what was your thought process into transforming yourself overnight? Because you did it so fast. So tell us that thought process of waking up and then getting out there and creating this community development resources.
I wasn't thinking. Like, that was my thought process. I wasn't thinking. I was just doing. Like, you know, honestly, like, I went out there, my daughter, my aunt, my uncle, my younger cousins, you know, we went to Broadway the Friday after the riots, and we just went out there to clean up. And while we were out there, I'm like, yo, we're gonna need resources. It was just random. Like, honestly, it was random. My auntie was about to go get the kids something to eat or something. I'm like, when you go, run to the store, get this, that, and the third, I don't know, get whatever. We're gonna need some resources. You know, I gave her $100, you know what I'm saying? And then I called a few other people, and then we made Northside Emergency Resource pop-up happened in that moment. And then it turned into this grassroots organization that it is now, just over that one thought. And then a course of weeks, with everybody doing their part, not just myself, but my team, the community, everybody on my social media outlets, like everybody played a part in making Northside Emergency Resource Pop-Up happen. And I think that's what made it so dope and so special, because everybody pitched in, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a random thought. I didn't really have a whole I want to do this, that, and the third. And that's why I just was so outdone at how fast everything happened and how successful it was. Over 7,000 people were fed and given household items, you know what I'm saying, for free. And top notch, this is all brands. Like when I was younger, when my grandma would take us to Pastor Paul's over and over, we would have King vitamins, you know what I'm saying? You got tissue paper that stay inside, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, oh, I thought I had a wedgie. No, that's tissue, you know what I'm saying? All of that, and so, but we're giving out good stuff, and people are really just bringing it in by the boatloads, and it just was an amazing experience. And I didn't have time to think. It took me one night, we were sitting there, I was talking with my team, and I literally just started crying because they put the numbers in front of me. I didn't even know. I didn't ask about anything. I didn't think to ask. I was just getting up every day we got to get to work. Let's get to work. I was taking a shower and going out the house. When I looked at myself in the news, I was like, sus, you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's how I looked, But when they laid the numbers out, I just started crying because I was like, bro, we fed that many people. At this point, it was 2 weeks in and it was over 3,500. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so I was amazed at what God did, the creator, the universe, whomever you refer to. I was just amazed. That's just what it was.
So, and I don't want to keep bringing up, any painful moments,
Yeah.
memories. But, what happened to George Floyd, I think, has changed not only Minnesota, but the entire world. What does that look like for you in terms, how does George Floyd, how does that change your future in comedy?
Man, when Mr. George died, for some reason that one hit different. Seeing that one, it was just enough is enough. I never felt the saying sick and tired of being sick and tired more than I ever did that day. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it really put an urge in me to just never want to stop talking about our story. Our meaning Black people. Never, at one point or another in my comedy, I have to mention what we're going through. I have to mention what we can't say. I have to mention the things that are hard for people to stomach. I have to mention what I saw and what I witnessed. I have to mention what I'm witnessing and the world I have to raise my daughter in, and my daughter being fair-skinned, I'm dark-skinned. I have to talk about those conversations and that uncomfortness sometimes that my daughter feels because of what people feel she may lack in being a Black girl. I have to talk about all of these different things. I have to talk about the fear of my brothers and my dad leaving the house and driving to the store and paying with the $20 bill that someone may think may be counterfeit. I have to talk about those things because this is my life. This is someone else's life. This is my daughter's life. This is my grandkids' life if I'm blessed to have any. And so that's the urge that I have, and that's what I won't let go. I actually just turned down the show recently because they asked me not to say any racial jokes. At first I was like, oh, okay, cool, because I thought about, whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute. The text that I read said, I don't want you to tell any racial jokes because of the healing process. Bro, I am the healing process, and everybody that looks like me is the healing process and is going through the healing process. I'm going to talk about what I need to heal from. So no, I won't be doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? And so And I don't mean any disrespect, and I don't think that person meant to disrespect me at all or be offensive, but I have to think like that because this is the world that y'all created for me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just where I am with that, and that's not gonna change.
So what's next for you?
I have shows coming up. Comedy Don't Stop. We got a show coming up next Saturday in Burnsville, Minnesota. That's on my social media outlets. As well as we'll have more shows coming after that. We have some pop-ups coming up with Northside Emergency Resource pop-up. We are currently on a weekly basis, also with the Northside Emergency Resource pop-up, we're currently giving household items and non-perishable items to the homeless people that have been camped out in Northeast Minneapolis. And so we just dropped off some bags to them this past week. We're going to keep doing that throughout the month of August if anybody ever wants to volunteer. And yeah, it just, the grind don't stop. We're just going to keep going with the nonprofit as well as the, I should say the grassroots, because we are grassroots, but as well as comedy.
Love it. Do you rap?
Nah,
Okay.
my daughter's a rapper though.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Love it. She'll have to come onto the show. And
you gotta get her.
Yes, that'd be
Please.
amazing.
Yeah,
Who's
she's the rapper.
Who's your favorite comedian? Let's go there.
Man, my favorite comedian, you know what, is definitely Cat Williams. That's my guy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he can talk about anything and make it funny.
And then female.
Other than myself, of course, I would have to give it to Monique, hands down.
Okay.
I love Monique.
Yeah.
Like, I loved her from the day that I saw her. Like, she's so raw. She's so raw. Like, when I mean raw, I mean, like, in the real essence of the word raw. You know, like, Monique, when she's, like, unfiltered and not really going through shit, when she really got the freedom to say what she wants to say, she does. And I like that shit. I like when she's on point. Ashli Henderson, please follow me at my_coolash on Instagram. Ashli, ASHLI Henderson on Facebook. Stud Folks on My Fans Only. And then go to the grassroots website, northsideerp.org, and donate and or volunteer to the next pop-up or mission that we have. Thank y'all, man. I love y'all. And be black, stay black. And if you're not black, love on somebody that is black. Remember, Black Lives Matter, baby.